Ooh, almost forgot to turn my mic on. They thought they got me, but they didn't get me. I stay ready up in here. We should be good to go. Y'all know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me looking all crispy and clean on the screen. And welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the ClassE Morning Show in the afternoon today. It's ClassE Morning Show on the West Coast, right? Shout out to the West Coast. Hopefully y'all are doing well. It's good to see everybody in here, and we're going to have a great show today. We're going to talk about what's going on with Mark Sanchez. We've got some updates. We're actually going to hear from Mark Sanchez himself. And this situation is getting messy. We're going to talk about ASAP Rocky. This guy is not letting this whole thing with the civil lawsuit against ASAP Rocky and Joe Tacopina go. So we're going to talk about that. We got Letitia James, as y'all saw, and Candace Owens, of course, is going to make an appearance on the show today. So we're going to get into it. But before I do, you know I have to say what's up to the people, man. Shout out to the gang in the building. We've got my awesome, amazing Amy in here, always holding it down. Shout out to the beautiful Amy E. Y'all know what she does. You see her in here every single show. Shout out to Amy. We got Les Cleaver, my guy, the big dog in here. J Money up in this thing. What's up, man? We got Mary is in here. Good morning. Slim Life, New Jersey. The Honorable Attorney Kel Bell is in the building. Virginia Wiley is here as well. Good to see you. Taco Tuesday is in here a day early. Good to see you, Taco Tuesday. We've got Alice Manfredi. Hopefully I said that right. Manfredi. It's probably Manfredi. Shout out to Alice Manfredi. Said, I made it. I did it. Good to see you here. Kitty Cat's in the building as well. And I'll be saying good morning to y'all and good afternoon to y'all as we go throughout the show. All right. So before we get into it, you know, I'm going to ask you for one thing. And the only thing I ask for on this show, and that is that you all like the video. Please, likes are free. It takes less than a second to do. I know you're going to have a great time here. I know you're going to have a lot of fun on the show, interacting in the chat, listening to what we have to say. So please make sure you like the video on your way in. All right. Likes are free. Helps the channel continue to grow. Lets the algorithm know you guys are enjoying the show. Shares the video, the channel, the live stream with more people. So thank you to all of y'all who have done that as well. Also, if you're feeling extra generous, you can share the video. It helps us out as well. It lets people know that we're here and we're live, tells them where you're going to be hanging out. You can click the share button. It's also got an arrow next to it, curved and pointing to the right. And that lets you share to Facebook, to Instagram, to X. You can even share it to your group chat through text. All right. So thank you to those of you that do that. And last but not least, I will be giving a special shout out to everybody who sends in super chats, man. There's already a bunch of y'all in here who have went the extra mile and shown some love. Shout out to my guy, Les Cleaver, one of the hardest working dudes I know. What does he say? With the 10 bomb, he says, wake up and get coffee. Wake up, get that coffee, go brush your teeth and shower and start a new week. God has blessed each of you and loves you very much. Amen, Les. Let's do this with eyes wide open and a song in your heart. Amen. That deserves a round of applause. Thank you, Les Cleaver, for always being here, always supporting and hustling, man. Whether he's at work, off of work, which he rarely does, he's in here showing support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We've got Marion here with the 5 mom. She says, good morning, legendary people. New week, new vibes. Let's hit it strong. Last week is behind us. Today is the day to rise up and make the good Lord proud. Amen. Shout out to y'all. So many people of faith in here. I absolutely love it, man. This community is great. We got Amy in here with the cake, the cakiest cake that ever caked. Always stopping by, reminding me to eat. Okay. I got a good breakfast in there, Amy, and lunch is around the corner. So thank you to Amy. Can y'all show some love to Amy? Not only is she in here supporting the community, but she is also has a channel that she posts content on as well. If you haven't checked out Amy's channel, make sure you do that. She puts so much hard work into that channel as well. The link is in the description, and also we can drop it in the chat for you. Go subscribe, hit the notification bell, and watch every single video she has over there. She does a great job with the content. Just premiered a video this morning that was absolutely insane. So make sure you check her out, and y'all see us over there, a lot of us over there in the premieres of Amy's videos as well. All right. Appreciate everyone who stopped by this morning too. I saw a bunch of y'all over there. Yes, it's Manfredi. I should have known that. Of course it's Manfredi. Thank you for clarifying that, Alice. Good to see you in there this morning. Amy is my hero, says Mary, out here changing lives every day. That's a fact. Good morning, Gerald. Good to see you in the building. We got LaRonda's up in here too. And J Money reminding y'all to smash the like button. Yes. Let me see. Let me make sure that we're good to go. And I think I got everyone in the building. All right. As I said, we're going to go ahead and get into it. If y'all could, make sure you like the video on your way in. All right. Excuse me. Likes are free. Helps us out a lot. Let's go ahead and get into this first topic. And actually, I need to check and make sure you guys probably can't hear the sound. So y'all haven't been able to hear any music that I had playing. And you weren't able to hear any of the sound effects. Wow. We should be good now. Can y'all hear? I had music playing in the background and y'all were just listening to me up here talk without no ambience, no ambiance, no sound effect. Oh, it's terrible. All right. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear the sound at least? Let me know if y'all can hear the sound on this video. You should.
Former NFL quarterback.
Is it good? I mean, I know my voice is amazing, but y'all hear me coughing. It's a little nasally these days. Nobody's saying if it's good or not. I think we're good. It's good. It's good. It's good. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So let me double check and make sure. Okay, I see we're good. We're good. We're good. We can hear it. Yeah. All right, cool, cool, cool. So we've been talking a lot about Mark Sanchez and what happened during this entire situation. We went through and broke down the affidavit of probable cause, and we got to hear the story from PT. All right, the gentleman who got into this altercation with Mark Sanchez and allegedly and eventually stabbed him. But Mark Sanchez, although he got stabbed, was the one who actually got put in handcuffs, shockingly. And now we're finally going to hear from Mark Sanchez himself. We heard a statement from Mark Sanchez and his family saying what was going on, how they're going to be focused on his recovery. Now let's see what Mark has to say himself. Here we go.
Former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez is speaking out for the very first time after being hospitalized and booked on assault charges following a stabbing in downtown Indianapolis.
Crazy.
In an exclusive interview with our News Nation affiliate, Sanchez thanked his surgeon for saving his life, but he had no words for the elderly man he's alleged to have brutally beaten. Take a listen.
Yeah, he probably should say
Ex-NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez has been booked. His mugshot finally taken a week after he was stabbed during a fight with a 69-year-old truck driver in a downtown alley.
Mark, you got anything to say about the incident? Want to say anything to the bartender that saved your life, or Mr. Toll?
That was how Mark Sanchez's Sunday morning began, walking into the Community Justice Center to go through booking at the Adult Detention Center, where his mugshot was taken after a fight behind the Westin and downtown Marriott hotels during the early morning hours of October 4th, with truck driver Perry Toll, who suffered a lacerating wound to the face while stabbing the Fox Sports football analyst, investigators say, in self-defense. After less than 40 minutes inside, Sanchez obviously weakened his right arm in a sling to protect his wounds, emerged from booking.
All right, what does Mark have
Mark,
to say?
is there anything you want to say to the people of Indianapolis?
Right now I'm just focused on my recovery, and I just wanted to thank the first responders, Eskenazi Hospital, which you're going to hit some, Marion County Sheriff, and the Indianapolis Police Department, Metro PD. But I'm focused on my recovery, and I want to see my wife, I want to see my son, my 2 baby girls. There'll be a day to answer all these questions, and unfortunately today's not that day.
Anything you want to say to Mr. Toll?
I guess the real thing here is I just want to thank Dr. Mosler, the surgeon. She saved my life, so I'm grateful for that. Sorry, I can't answer all your questions.
Thank you. Better?
And this is disappointing, Mark. We didn't hear, it's a terrible situation that happened. I wish this wouldn't have even happened. I hope Perry is okay. I hope he's doing well. Haven't heard anything about him. It's just ice cold. He looks really annoyed, to be honest. So, Mark, you got to do better, man.
Thank you, guys.
Recovering slowly, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry, guys.
Sanchez is due back in court November 5th. I'm Russ McQuaid reporting in Indianapolis.
Thank you for watching.
Geez, shout out to News Nation for that. So if y'all haven't seen this yet, we're actually going to go over to the New York Post, and they posted more of a full-length video of what happened during this alleged altercation between Mark Sanchez and Perry Toll. And let's check it out here. CMZ Sports posted this as well. So you can see the truck here. This is Perry Toll's truck. And he's pulling up to do his job. And this is at 5:50. Oh, dang. They show the alleyway and everything. This is crazy. To imagine. I cannot imagine, man. You see Mark Sanchez walking past. This is 5 minutes later. What was he doing out there? And he said something and is talking to somebody. Dang. This is wild. Now, according to the affidavit, he left and came back actually a couple times to this area. And you see Mark walking away again. Is Mark Sanchez bow-legged? Does anybody know? Okay, you can see this is about 3 minutes later. They say 90 seconds later, he aimlessly walks in the opposite direction. So now he's walking back to where the truck is. I don't know. I feel like this isn't going to be great. It almost looks like he was just looking for a fight. Like, Mark, you should have left and just stayed away. You see him walking around again. 5 minutes later, he returns and leans against the alley wall. Shame. And Mark Sanchez is hanging around here on the corner, and this person's talking to him. Hey, are you Mark Sanchez? Mark Sanchez then is running. What is going on? And he's still running. Okay, and right here is when it happens. So they say, so right here, Mark Sanchez runs over there. He's just had enough. And that was at 24. And then 5 minutes later, he's out of there. You see Mark Sanchez leaving. He's running. He's bleeding. And then this is where you can see like his shirt. He's starting to slow down now. Within 5 minutes, his shirt's bloody. Dang, man. He's tugging at it, depending on how intoxicated he allegedly was. He's got to be feeling it at this point. Then another 5 minutes later, you have police arriving. Can you imagine? And I think Mark Sanchez allegedly went to the bar. See the police there trying to find a trail of blood, figure out what went down. And you've got all these cameras here, so. Oh, man, they had 6, 7. How many police officers? Good Lord. 2, 4, 6, 8. 10 of them. Sealing off the whole area. You got officers on bikes. And then this is the This is the stretcher that they're going to put Perry Toll on, and you'll see him rolling past here shortly. This is crazy. And the truck is somewhere back here off camera, which is unfortunate. Yep, and then you can see Perry there. Just like you saw him in that hospital video. Yep, no shirt. I probably wanted to check him and make sure he is good. Dang, Mark, what were you thinking, man? And that's the even crazy. That's the crazier thing is obviously this is a 70-year-old man. They had to take him out on a stretcher because he allegedly got thrown around by Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez just walked off after being stabbed, which is crazy. Now, I see a lot of people asking about CTE, and I don't know if science has come a lot further since CTE was discovered and was made known. But from what I understand, you cannot see that there's CTE in someone's brain until they passed already. So I don't know if there's some advancements in science lately that you're going to be able to see the effects of CTE before someone passes. But from what I understand, that's the case. So I don't know if CTE is going to be a legitimate excuse here. So now we're going to go and we're going to hear from News Nation again. We want to see what our guy Harvey Levin has to say when it comes to Mark Sanchez situation.
Does this look like somebody who's drunk or drugged? What do you see?
Well, I don't really know the difference just in terms of stumbling, but he is out of his head. There is just no question when you watch this. He is wandering aimlessly after midnight. He goes back and forth in areas. He runs at times. But there's one point, Ashley, where he leans against a wall and he seems to fall asleep for 2 minutes because we have the surveillance video. And for 2 minutes, he's leaning against this wall. And it's almost as if he just passed out. And then somebody comes by and it seems like that guy wakes him up and they exchange words. And to me, we can only see the guy he exchanged words with, but it looked kind of angry. But right after that is when he went back to the scene and apparently attacked this truck driver, Perry Toll.
Do we know if the police know who that passerby was and if they've interviewed that witness?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even sure how relevant that witness is going to be because really this is about what happened at the scene. And they seem confident enough that they made this arrest almost immediately. I mean, they very quickly said Mark Sanchez was the aggressor.
And on these videos, we don't see the incident itself, which makes me think because the police were so quick, Harvey, they know when they know. And they're careful if it's Mark Sanchez that's going to destroy his world to make that arrest and be that, solid in their convictions. They got other video. Do you know if they have other video? Do you know if other video exists?
They do.
My understanding is there are 3 surveillance videos, and they are from different angles. And when you watch all 3 of them, you can capture what happened. And I am told, at least in one, and again, I don't have this to a point where I can absolutely say this is true, but I have spoken to somebody. I believe in one there might be audio as well.
Dang.
Audio.
Possibly.
Oh, that's going to be
that's
crazy.
what I'm told.
Wow.
But I'm not, I want to make that clear. I have not heard this, so this is secondhand. But yes.
That would make sense.
What would y'all think you hear the audio from this? I mean, it'd pretty much be a done deal. And again, we saw the affidavit of probable cause. We heard Perry's side. Seems to add up with what this video shows. The police got the statement from Perry. They compared it to the video they were already able to acquire. They said that matched up. Seems to be open and shut. What do y'all think moving forward? Many of you were saying you think Disney was still going to keep him employed. Are y'all still on that side? Y'all still think Mark Sanchez has a job? No way. Let me know what y'all think in the comments in the chat. And again, thank you to everybody who's in here. Shout out to the gang. Everybody showing up and showing support and liking the video. Thank y'all so much for showing love. Like that video. There's no way. No way Mark Sanchez keeps his job. Yeah, they're tripping. They are tripping, J Money. There's no way this man keeps his job. After seeing all that, seeing the full video for the first time, it looks worse and worse. And maybe he was drugged. I'm sure they're going to take his blood, and they took his blood at the hospital, so they're able to see what was in his system and figure all that out. So I don't know, man. Mary said there's no way that he keeps his job after this. He is all done. Can someone have drugged him inside the bar? Haven't heard anything regarding any possible things like that being looked into. It's definitely possible. And I even would go so far as to say it's likely that it could happen. How likely? I don't know. But either way, we're going to find out once they take his blood. Then you guys were talking about CTE. You cannot, excuse me, you cannot reliably, what's the way it was put? You cannot definitively diagnose CTE until the person is no longer with us. So doctors can suspect CTE in a living person, but definitive diagnosis still requires examination of the brain after death. And I mean, yeah, CPE it's a recent medical discovery from what I understand. Let me see if I could find out when was CTE discovered. I think during my lifetime, even if I remember. Let's see. No. It was in 1928. So CTE was first described in 1928 by New Jersey pathologist named Dr. Harrison Martland. And then there was more understanding in the 1940s to 70s. And then Dr. Bennett Omalu examined the brain of a former Pittsburgh Steelers center, Mike Webster, and found abnormal protein buildup. And that's where CTE came from. Interesting. That wasn't no CTE. It was the it was the Hennessy. He said. Oh yeah, they should call it HTE. They should call it. Or they should call it HTC. Yeah, Henny. What do they say? What do they call it? Henny traumatic consumption. HTC. It's tough out here. All right, let's keep it moving and get to our next topic. Thank you to everyone that's liked the video. Over 900 of you have liked the video so far. Again, if you're just joining us, please make sure you like the video. I'm over here. I need my cough deterrent real quick. Because, woo-wee, coughs are sneaking out this morning. I apologize, y'all. We'll go ahead and keep it going. All right. Anything is possible. That's right. So when it comes to Letitia James, we've got another update, and it's looking like there might be a superseding indictment because we're finding out a lot more information about what Letitia James had going on. We found out more information about the possible charges that could be updated on her indictment. And did she actually participate in this fraudulent activity when it comes to her properties, her 3 different properties we're going to be talking about. Now, when it comes to the indictment, she's only being indicted based on her activities with this one specific property. And we're actually going to hear a video later from Nate, the lawyer, where he explains more into the details of that property. But I wanted to replay this video from Letitia responding to the indictment coming out. I want y'all to hear what she has to say. Amy posted this over on her X account. If y'all don't follow Amy on X, make sure you do that to stay up to date on the latest news at IAMYLEIGH over on X. Check this out.
Continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding.
Well,
all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General.
Well,
these charges are baseless.
Did you?
And the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties.
Is it?
His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country.
So dramatic.
This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights.
I mean, what you gotta fight, though? Here's my thing. Letitia, what do you have to fight? If it's a lie, it's a lie. Just can you say that? Say the president's lying. That's what I would say if fraud charges came out against me today from President Donald Trump. I'd be like, no, President Trump, we ain't doing that. Hey, where's the Associated Press? Y'all come over here. I got something to say. Yeah, he's lying. Letitia James has not said that. She said, we're going to fight this. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Man, get out of here. Is it true or is it not? Well, we're about to find out. All right. So we've got this update here about Letitia James, and we're going to hear more information. And actually, in the next video, we're going to be hearing from a forensic analyst who's going to talk about this mess Letitia's in. But check this out when it comes to what the Storm Has Rise has to say. The U.S. Federal Housing Director believes that Letitia James also committed insurance fraud and suggests that superseding indictments could be coming for her. I believe and do not know for sure that that's insurance fraud. You have a downstream crimes when you have mortgage fraud, you have insurance fraud, you have tax fraud. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see a superseding indictment. But of course, that'll be up to the Department of Justice. This could be one of the best F around and find outs I've ever seen if they throw the book at her. Well, I mean, she shouldn't have to fight too much. If it's a lie, right? You would think so. Well, let's see what they have to say.
I'll raise one other thing with you, Laura, which was fascinating in this indictment that U.S. Attorney Halligan did. She lays out in there, and I didn't know this, but it's fascinating to me, that Letitia James, according to the indictment, said that she had a primary residence at this secondary home for purposes of insurance. I believe, and I don't know for sure, we'll have to see what happens, that that's insurance fraud. And a lot of people just think, Laura, well, it's mortgage fraud. You have downstream crimes when you have mortgage fraud. You have insurance fraud, you have tax fraud. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see a superseding indictment, but of course that would be all up to the DOJ.
Very, very.
Yes, because think about it. If she was collecting the rent off of these properties, then where's that money going? What was being said on their tax returns about the rent she was receiving? What was being said on their tax return about the property? So then you have the tax fraud, right? Then you have the insurance fraud. If you tell the insurance company, hey, I'm here like 3 times a year. This is my property. Yeah, I've got people that pay me rent every now and then, but this is my property. So yeah, go ahead and give me that lower premium rate on my insurance. Thanks, guys. And then you lied to the mortgage company. Again, this is something. And I think it's interesting. Letitia is acting like it's nothing and just saying, oh, well, we're going to fight. What do you have to fight? I've got this video here from Nate the Lawyer. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I want you guys to go and support Nate the Lawyer. And I'll leave a link in the description to this entire video. But Nate actually goes through and breaks down a lot of what he's been hearing when it comes to rumors surrounding this indictment against Letitia James. And there's 3 properties that he discusses in this video. There's one property that was recently purchased in the last 2 years. That's not a part of the indictment. There's another property that she previously purchased, and that's not a part of the indictment as well. He talks about that in the video. What we're going to focus on here is the section where Nate talks about the property in question in this indictment and how that's going to affect Letitia James from a legal aspect. and what she's looking at facing, because it ain't looking great. All right, y'all check this out, and I'll leave the link in the video to this full video in the description for you.
Let's move to the third property concerning Letitia James, which is another property in Norfolk, Virginia, the subject of the current indictment. Now, this loan originated in the year 2020. Now, on the loan application, Letitia James claimed that this property was a secondary residence. She also signed a second home rider promising to occupy the unit and not rent it. That's what the indictment alleges. Here, on paragraph 6, under a signed second home rider, which required James as the sole borrower to occupy and use the property as her secondary residence, and prohibited its use as a timeshare or other shared ownership arrangement or agreement that requires her either to rent the property or give any other person any control over the occupancy or use of the property. So by signing that second home rider, she couldn't rent the property. And more importantly, she said she was going to occupy the residence. Now, because Ms. James said that she was going to use this property as a second residency, that allowed her to get more favorable loan rates. Now, paragraph 8 lays out the benefit that James got for listing the property as a secondary residence and not a rental property. And that benefit came out to about $18,000. The indictment also says that the universal property application for the homeowner's insurance indicated, quote, owner-occupied non-seasonal use, further misrepresenting the intended use of the property. Now, to make it even more clear that even though James had listed this property as a secondary residence that she was going to occupy, she actually filed a tax return claiming that she never occupied the property. In paragraph 10 of the indictment, it says here that she reported 0 personal days use. She also received $1,000 in rental income and claimed deductions for expenses related to the property. And she received this loan in March of 2021. Now, Tish James defenders are pointing to this email in which Tish James, in section 5, which is declarations, it says, quote, will you occupy the property as your primary residence? And she puts no. But this email is dated 2023. And this is in reference to the Sterling property we talked about earlier, where she took the loan out in 2023. This is not about the loan in the indictment, which is from.
So she didn't lie on the second one, because there's nothing showing that she said on the property in question that she wasn't going to use it as her primary residence. She actually said she was going to.
2021. Here is a secondary email that the Tish James offenders are also going to be pointing to, where she says here, and this property will not be my primary residence. But again, this is about the 2023 property and not the loan in 2021. Now, you're going to see a lot of YouTubers and a lot of conservatives pointing to this document, claiming that, hey, look, she signed under penalty of perjury. But this document has nothing to do with the indictment. It does show that there were some issues in the future, but in terms of the indictment that is on the table now, this document is irrelevant to that. Okay, so now let's go over some strengths and weaknesses of the government's current indictment. First, there is a clear paper trail of contradictions. Secondary residence, home rider, tax returns, showing rental income, clarifying that she never used it for personal use. Also, this case is very easy to explain to a jury. She said she lived there, but she rented it instead. She didn't tell anybody, and she saved it.
Well, it's simple to explain to the jury if you don't hate Trump. Some people are just going to hate Trump and say, oh, this is Trump's Department of Justice. Throw it out.
Showing rental income, clarifying that she never used it for personal use. Also, this case is very easy to explain to a jury. She said she lived there, but she rented it instead. She didn't tell anybody, and she saved about $19,000. It's not that complex. Now, if the court allows in the evidence of the other properties and their issues, that may also strengthen the government's case, but it is very unlikely the issues with the Brooklyn house or the issues with the other Virginia house will be able to be brought in front of this court because there's a bar to propensity evidence, so the jury will probably never likely hear about those other issues. What are some good arguments that could work for Tish James? Well, intent. Intent is...
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Y'all can go listen to the rest of this video from Nate the Lawyer. Shout out to Nate for breaking this down so well. There's a lot of issues Letitia's going to be looking at moving forward, but hey, she said she's going to fight it. And if it's true what y'all say, then she should have no problem. If she didn't lie and she didn't defraud this mortgage company and defraud the tax and the IRS and defraud the insurance companies, she should be fine. Let me know what y'all think in the comments in the chat. And we're not done with Letitia either, but I want to take a second and thank all 900 of you in the building. Please like the video, guys. That's all I ask. It's free. All right. Take a second, like the video, please. All right. We're actually going to hear from a forensic accountant who looked into things, for those of y'all who want the facts over the feelings. And I respect that because I'm the same way. And he's going to talk about what we're actually seeing, what evidence we're seeing from Letitia James. This is going to be interesting. So y'all stick around. Trump is petty. This is definitely a petty move, and I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all, because what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. Y'all don't like the system. We need to be talking about it all year round, 24/7, which is what we do here. All right. So, hey, it is what it is. Trump's petty as F, but he ain't wrong. She lying and she's a thief. Allegedly. And we'll see if the same thing is true with James Comey. This ain't the White House. This is Patrick. That's crazy. This is King Trump saying, if anyone dares to prosecute my crimes, I'll prosecute the prosecutor. Oh, man. Yeah, because Trump is the only one who said that before. Again, if you didn't do anything wrong and you don't have anything to hide, then you should be good, right? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, some of y'all might want to cover your ears for this next one. We've got 1,400 of you in here, which means I need to quit talking and get straight to the content. People should be upset with her. Do you think you would get away with this? Nah, you would not. Well, I think more people are going to defend her because she's a Democrat, black, female, in a position of power. So, I mean, how dare we have any vitriol or any negativity towards this woman? Look at her. Letitia James. She's I'm gonna let it go. Let's see. Let me see. We got Trump is petty. That 1000%. We've got they made up charges on Diddy and she said nothing. Oh, well, I mean, it's Diddy though. That's different. It's not the same thing. And again, I still haven't heard from Letitia if she lied or not. I mean, it seems like it'd be pretty simple. Letitia, did you say you were going to use this as your primary residence or not? Shout out to CPE in the building. Just dropped the 10 bomb over on the Cash App. Thank you, my friend. He says, salute to you, CPE. Always stopping by, always supporting this show of love. Thank you, my friend. And it's good to see you on this Monday as well. Mr. Brown's up in this thing. What's up, Mr. Brown? Good morning. Yeah, it's morning where you're at. It's 11:51, I think, where you're at. Mountain time. So shout out to Mr. Brown up in here. And thank you again, CPE. Let's go ahead and get to this next one. So we want the facts, right? We want the facts over feelings. And we want to know what's going on with this whole Letitia James situation. So what I'm going to do is we're actually going to get into the facts. We're going to hear from a forensic accountant, and he's going to break down what he's seeing so far when it comes to this Letitia James indictment, when it comes to the track record and the documents that are out there. And I'm going to let y'all break it down and see what you think about this entire situation. Before we get into the actual video, I want to read this information that Amy posted over on X. Again, if you don't follow Amy on X, make sure you do that to get some of the latest news at IAMYLEIGH over on X. And she says this: every single mortgage document that Letitia James signed over the last 42 years had falsified information. What? Now, you do have to prove intent, but it is what it is. This was not a one-off, according to a forensic accountant, Sam Antar. Antar, a retired forensic accountant known for his meticulous unraveling of financial puzzles, claimed that this is no isolated slip-up, but part of a larger history of alleged misconduct. Antar, who stumbled upon these inconsistencies while reviewing public filings, stressed his nonpartisan approach. I am not part of this tit for tat with Trump or anything like that. This isn't a complicated case. It's as plain as day. We'll see. James purchased a Virginia property in 2008, but failed to report its mortgage in her 2021 and 2022 financial disclosure to New York State. Suddenly, in 2023, 2 mortgages appeared, totaling more than twice the property's value, raising immediate red flags. The mortgage clause specified the home as a secondary primary residence. However, James' tax returns showed she didn't spend any time in the home and claimed rental income. This allowed her lower residential interest rate and insurance costs, while she never informed the bank of its commercial use. Beyond the indicated Virginia home, Antar flagged two other properties, one on Sterling Drive in Virginia and the other in Brooklyn, which we talked about as potential sites for similar fraud. The Brooklyn building, certified for 5 units, was allegedly financed and insured as a similar 4-unit residential property, dodging her higher commercial rates. And the reason it's 4 is because it's being alleged that that property is actually 5. But if she puts it as 4, then she doesn't have to pay as much. All right. In 2022, during the purchase, James reported income for the property in her disclosures, but from 2021 through 2024, that income vanished from the records, potentially understating her finances to state overseers. All right, let's get into it and see what's going on here.
This is the gal who went after Donald Trump for not exactly dotting I's and crossing T's in some business records paper that should never have done anything except she was coached by the Biden White House and weaponized by the Biden White House to go after Mr. Trump, take all his money and business away. Lo and behold, we have mortgage fraud, primary residence in Virginia Beach, if I'm not mistaken, even though she's the Attorney General of New York, which is an Albany or New York City thing. There's also, she's also being investigated, but it's a grand jury indictment. She's being investigated for also calling Brooklyn, New York. I guess it's an apartment house, small apartment house she bought, that she also called that primary residence and made some other very egregious mistakes, all of which to get lower interest rates. So, Miranda, you know, there is a God. Let's start there.
I have been wanting to say this for a long time. No one is above the law.
Oh, yeah. There you go. That's right.
Who said that? Letitia James said that over and over and over. And it's the same thing with the Democrats. They're always projecting. And so she's, you know, fooled around and found out. And I mean, look, it's just an indictment. I guess she's still innocent.
Yeah,
but this is
allegations.
Bill Pulte.
And an indictment.
It comes from Bill Pulte's very good work in looking at mortgage fraud, which people have gone to jail for. I mean, Letitia James herself faces $1 million in fines, 30 years in jail. Bill Pulte, Ed Martin went to the brownstone in Brooklyn and had a look at it, and you could see there were 5 apartment buildings there because there were 5 buzzers. Letitia James has said that her father was her husband for the purpose of, you know, misstating allegedly her information on these mortgage forms. So she got a lower rate of loan than she would have if she'd done everything above the board, and the rest of us have to do it above the board. So it's, I think, a good thing to indict someone who's high profile like this because it sends a message to the rest of the country. Be honest. It doesn't matter if everybody does it.
Be honest.
Which is, I think, has been the sort of defense of her.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the actual forensic accountant and see what he has to say. All right. Shout out to Newsmax. We're going to hear the forensic accountant is going to be on here, and he's going to break down everything that he's seeing when it comes to Letitia James. It's going to be interesting.
Joining us now, forensic accountant Sam Antar, the man who uncovered this all at the very beginning. You broke this open. It has gone all the way to the top, to the DOJ. Letitia James has now been indicted again, Sam. As I said, I'm not celebrating this. Like, oh, yeah, great, they got her. That's not what this is about. This is about someone doing something allegedly wrong and getting caught, so walk us through it.
I'll walk you through it. First of all, she owns 3 properties, one on Peroni Avenue in Virginia, one on Sterling Drive in Virginia, and one in Brooklyn. This indictment covers the property on Peroni Avenue. First of all, I'm not part of this tit for tat with Trump or anything like that.
Nope.
I was at the time I was retired, you know, taking my time, looking through financial puzzles, and I was looking at the financial report, her personal financial disclosures. What I found was she bought that property on Peroni Avenue, the one she was indicted for, in 2020. In 2021, she showed no mortgage. 2022, she showed no mortgage. In 2023, all of a sudden, 2 mortgages pop up that exceed the value of the property by about 200%. That led to a red flag, so I went back, as any forensic accountant does, and I ordered the title report, and all of a sudden, I find that she bought the property with a mortgage that was never disclosed, and the 2 mortgages that were disclosed to New York State were not in the property records, unrecorded mortgages. Now, this property here, she got caught because the mortgage clause said that she was going to buy it as a second home. She put it on her tax return that she was going to be there 0 days a year. She also put it on a Schedule E, which is on a tax return, that she was earning income from it. Fine. Okay, but the problem is she never told the bank it was going to be an investment property, and she reaped benefits.
Couldn't be a rental based on the mortgage rate that they gave her,
right.
Correct?
Now, the other interesting thing, which I said on the air earlier, is she showed income on her financial disclosures in 2020 when she bought the property. She didn't show the property mortgage, but 2021 and 22, 23 and 24, she didn't show any income on that property. So was she underreporting to New York State? I don't know. It's something that I said on the air. The Fed's got to look at it.
And clearly they have, and clearly they've decided it was appropriate to bring an indictment down in a grand jury. They're doing their thing. Yeah, go ahead.
But this is only one of more to come.
That's right. All right, that was where I was going to lead this to, because there are other properties. And I know the property in Brooklyn, the way she listed it with a certain amount of rooms in there.
No, certain amount of units.
Units, okay.
She said it was 4 units. She said, well, I've always used this 4 units, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
it's
bleep that one out.
It's supposed to be, it's 5 units according to the certificate of occupancy. No owner of a property can determine their own occupancy. They have to get permission from the Department of Buildings to change the certificate of occupancy. Certificate of occupancy said 5. She should have applied as commercial loans at higher rates. She should have applied for commercial insurance at higher costs, but she didn't. She treated it as a 4-unit or less property.
Do you think, let's focus in on the property in Virginia where the indictment has come down. Would you consider that to be pretty much a slam dunk? I've heard other people talking about it, that, you know, the way it's laid out, I mean, she did this and that's that.
It's as plain as day. But
this isn't a complicated case, I guess.
No, it isn't a complicated case, but everybody's looking at that one property. There's 2 other properties that she committed mortgage fraud on, and every single mortgage document that she signed going back 42 years with her signature on it had falsified information, was false.
So you're saying all 3 properties, all mortgage fraud across the board?
Yes, this is not a one-off. I'm sorry, this is not a one-off mistake.
Yeah.
This is one right after the other, right after the other.
So you're saying she knew what she was doing and was doing it on repeat. That's
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, yes.
Okay, Sam Antar.
Wow, shout out to Sam. What do y'all think about this? Is it something? Is it nothing? Is it everything? It seems pretty simple to me. Again, like we said with the James Comey thing. Hey, James, did you make a false statement or did you straight up lie? Letitia, did you make a false statement or did you straight up lie? Were you committing fraud? Did you put something on an application that wasn't true? We'll have to wait and see. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments and in the chat. People are still defending this. This is crazy. Again, even with Letitia James, we believe innocent until proven guilty. So we'll have to wait and see what the evidence shows. We're just breaking down and analyzing the information we have now, which is available by public record. And based on the applications, based what shows in the public record when it comes to tax returns and when it comes to the purchases, it's not looking great for Letitia. I wonder if Fannie's indictment's coming. Man, Fannie's probably going to fold. Fannie is not trying to get an indictment. She's going to fold and be like, what do y'all want me to do? You want me to tell you what Kamala said? I'll tell you everything. Oh, man. That is funny. All right, what are y'all saying? We got the big dog in here. J Money just gifted 5 memberships. Hey, first of all, welcome to all 2,100 of you who are in the building. If one of you got a membership from my guy, J Money, please take a second and say thank you. All right. It's very generous of him to show some love, give you guys an opportunity to check out the members only content. Not only that, but you get the ability to get access to any of the videos that we drop here on the channel instantly. You don't have to wait until they're scheduled and drop on the channel. You can watch them right away. So you also get your name highlighted in green. Shout out to J Money for supporting y'all there. Also, with all 2,200 of you that are in here, please make sure you like the video. Likes are free. All right. So if you could, please like the video. It helps the channel continue to grow a lot. There's 2,200 of y'all in here. I would greatly appreciate if you could do that. All right. Yeah, Fannie indictment needs to happen. It's now we have Carney and Bill. Did she ever pass her case she got dismissed from? No, Fannie's out of there. She's done. My real estate agent and mortgage lady warned us not to rent out our property many times. Yeah, it's tough. Innocent until proven guilty, sure. But there are some bad facts. Yeah, that's true. It's not looking great. It's not looking great. And I mean, we have eyes. We're able to look at and see what's going on here. And Letitia looks like she may have messed up. All right, now we're going to get into... I'm trying to decide which way I want to go with this. I actually might save that one till later because I know y'all here and want to hear about Candace Owens and what Candace has going on because, as usual, Candace has been on fire. She's over there cooking. And let me see. We got through those. Let me put Charlie Kirk up here. And I need to get a good picture of Candace. And we're going to get an update on this investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination. Shout out to everyone who's in the building. Also, to all 2,300 of you that are in here, y'all make sure you say what's up. Say hi in the chat. And I just want to say good morning. It's good to see y'all in here. Good to see so many folks popping up and stopping by. Let's see. Well, I'm glad we got a perspective different from Fox Newsmax. Well, I mean, it's objective. and I mean, if you can't see that, then I don't know. Do we want to find, let's see. Is anybody else talking about this? They're probably scared to talk about this. Let's see. Let's try CNN, right? CNN, Letitia James. Let's just do this for fun. We'll pivot a little bit and see what CNN has to say. Oh, this is perfect. Anderson Cooper. This is perfect. If anyone cannot stand Donald Trump.
I mean, according to PolitiFact, the day after she was elected in 2018, Letitia James...
It's Anderson Cooper. So here, let's hear from the other side. And you know what? I need to make this a regular practice. Let's hear from both sides on this. Let's hear from both sides on how they feel about Letitia James. Since we're covering mainstream media, we went away from Fox and we went to Newsmax. Let's see. We got Letitia James on CNN. Let's see. Who else should we go with? Should we go with MSNBC? Should we go with... Who are y'all thinking? Who would y'all say is on the other side when it comes to Letitia James? NBC News, maybe? That would be a good one. NBC is probably a good one to go with. So let's see what CNN has to say, right?
I mean, according to PolitiFact, the day after she was elected in 2018, Letitia James was asked by a community activist if she was going to sue President Trump. And she replied, quote, "Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally." I mean, that's not a great look for somebody who has just been elected or just been campaigning, who hasn't even looked, I guess, deeply at any evidence.
Anderson Cooper addressed the fresh indictment of Letitia James Thursday on CNN, where he lambasted the New York Attorney General for how she handled her previous vow to zero in on President Trump. It was not a great look, the CNN star said. The anchor discussed...
Oh, no, not Anderson Cooper saying it's not a great look. Dang, that's tough. Let's see. Maybe we can find some more from CNN.
It was just 20 days ago that the president posted this on Truth Social, demanding that the Attorney General Pam Bondi do something about James, the former FBI Director James Comey, and Senator Adam Schiff of California.
Let's see
The
how
Wall Street
CNN
Journal
spins
reported
this.
last night that Trump actually thought he was sending that message directly to Bondi instead of posting it publicly for all of us to see. That mishap revealing the president was directly telling his Attorney General who he should be indicted. And of course, now tonight, James is facing charges of bank fraud and false statements to a financial institution. And just yesterday, we watched as James Comey pleaded not guilty in his case. The defendant table is where the New York Attorney General will find herself in just about 2 weeks from tonight. But this evening, she also had this to say moments after that grand jury handed down the indictment.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding. All because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
But then
Criminal prosecutors had objected to
started
bringing this case against Letitia James. And the former U.S. attorney in the office that ultimately prosecuted her, it's the one that Trump put in that role months ago, resigned after he was facing pressure to bring this particular case because he felt there wasn't enough evidence to do so. He was replaced by Lindsay Halligan, a former Trump defense attorney and insurance lawyer who doesn't have prosecutorial experience, but she's now in charge of Virginia's Eastern District and has been for just over 2 weeks. In those 2 weeks, of course, we've seen the indictment of James Comey and now tonight, Letitia James. The history of Trump and James goes back years, of course. She famously sued the president and his company for business fraud, but it's political comments that she made that Trump and his allies often point to.
It's important that everyone understand that the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end.
And as the next Attorney General of his home state, I will be shining a bright light into every dark corner of his real estate dealings.
Yeah. What? Need I go on? Like, guys, are we really going to be this you can't have it both ways. You can't let Letitia James say this in 2018. That the president of the United States not say what he said. So is she the only one? I get it. Hey, listen, she's a black female Democrat. So she gets a little more leeway than pretty much everybody in America. But hey, if the president said this, which he said something similar, y'all would be heated. What are we doing? Yes, she started it. This was in 2018. Let me remind you. And again, this is CNN. This isn't Fox. This isn't Newsweek. This isn't Newsmax. This isn't News Nation. Letitia James said this.
Point two.
It's important that everyone understand that the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end.
It's important that everyone understand that the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end. I'm sorry. Oh, it's getting awfully quiet in the chat now. Oh, I know. The other side, they always love to avoid the question. They love to avoid accountability. And somehow this is going to be justified. So I'll let it be. But the president, if he wants to, or the Department of Justice wants to indict someone based off of the same accusations, it's somehow wrong. Crazy.
It's important that everyone understand that the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end.
Can y'all imagine if the president came out and said that? It's important for you guys to understand the days of Letitia James are coming to an end. Oh my gosh. People will be out in the streets.
And as the next Attorney General of his home state,
y'all are funny,
I will
man.
be shining a bright light into every dark corner of his real estate dealings.
This is CNN, by the way. This is CNN.
And once she was elected and after Michael Cohen testified here on Capitol Hill about the president's business dealings, James carried out her promise. And on the campaign trail, the president made no secret of his own plan for revenge.
Oh, but this is wrong.
In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution.
Then, as president, Trump has not only called for, but cheered the indictment of his political rivals. He also indicated that there could be more to come, as he noted to my colleague Kevin Liptak last month.
It's not a list, but I think there'll be others. I mean, they're corrupt. These were corrupt, radical left Democrats. No, there'll be others. Look, that's my opinion. They weaponized the Justice Department like nobody in history. What they've done is terrible. And so I hope there are others, because you can't let this happen to a country.
We begin tonight with top former prosecutors who are with us tonight. Ellie Honig, Tom Dupree, and Gene Rossi, as well as the Atlantic's David Frum, who is here on this major story. And Ellie, as this came out tonight, you know, it all came together very quickly. As we heard, a grand jury was underway this afternoon. Then the indictment came down in confirmation from the Eastern District of Virginia. The indictment is pretty short. It's only a couple of pages if you read it. I wonder, Ellie, based on what you know, would you have brought this case?
I would not have, Caitlin, simply because the amounts are so minuscule here. Now, if you look at the indictment, the core allegation is that Letitia James bought this home in Virginia in 2023, and she certified that it would be her secondary residence. But in fact, the indictment alleges she used it as an investment and rental property, which gave her a slightly lower mortgage loan interest rate. But if you look at the numbers here, the total purchase amount of the home was $130,000 plus. The amount of the mortgage was just over $100,000, and the indictment says the total amount she profited was $18,000. Let me tell you, I have seen dozens upon dozens of federal mortgage fraud cases brought. I've never seen one for that low of a loss amount. So we'll see. We don't know, frankly, off the indictment how strong the evidence is, but just that loss amount to me shows me that something unusual is happening here, that they
fraud. Is fraud based off of loss amount, or is fraud based off of fraud? Maybe you guys can educate me.
Chose to indict this.
Well, and they had kind of been looking around at different homes. I mean, it wasn't even clear which one they were going to go after in terms of this. Where there was another one where she bought with her niece that was her primary residence, and then it came out it was this home. And so, Tom, you know, when we look at this, the multiple homes, we saw Ed Martin, another top DOJ official, who was posing for pictures outside of James's Brooklyn home as well. It kind of raised the question of, you know, obviously they wanted to indict her for something, and they were looking at basically all of her properties in order to get to this point where we are tonight.
Yeah, and look, the Ed Martin maneuver of standing outside and haunting her house is not exactly subtle. And this is one of the least surprising indictments that we've seen. President Trump has been very vocal, both on the campaign trail and once he's taken office, that he was going to do whatever he could to see that Tish James was indicted. So today, I'm sure, is a happy day for him. One interesting thing is the charge that they are bringing appears to be based on a different property than the one that many of us thought it would be based on, a different property in Norfolk. And to my mind, one critical fact or question here is whether after Tish James submitted that form in which she checked the box saying that she intended to use the Norfolk as a primary residence, whether she corrected that error. With regard to the other Norfolk property, at least her lawyers have been saying this was just an inadvertent mistake. As soon as she realized she made the mistake, she tried to fix it. And so my question is, does the same argument apply to this property too? Because that, if true, would go a long way toward a defense that this was an honest mistake rather than attempt to commit a willful, intentional, fraudulent act.
Yeah, I believe on that one, her attorney had turned over emails where she said, this is not my primary residence, making that clear. Obviously, that was a few years ago. And Gene, on this, Lindsay Halligan.
And I love how CNN isn't even saying, hey, she didn't do this. Even CNN is saying, hey, listen, okay, she did it, but it could have been an honest mistake, right? Maybe she was just, she was rushing and she was filling out the bubbles, and yeah, it just happened. No, 40 times. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's okay.
Again, is the new attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia office. She's well liked by a lot of people in the president's inner circle, but she doesn't have experience as a prosecutor until 2 weeks ago. Now that she's been in this role, you've prosecuted more than 110 federal cases. Would you want to argue this?
Too many. Too many. Caitlin, let me tell you this, and maybe Tom and Ellie will agree with me. This indictment is the classic example of indicting a ham sandwich, because a prosecutor is the only one in the grand jury room. There's no defense attorney. It's 23 individuals. You only need 12 votes. And if you can't get an indictment returned, you might as well turn in your bar license. Would I have indicted this case? Absolutely not. And I agree with Ellie on one point. The loss in this case is remarkably low. But I want to go before the loss. In a bank fraud case and a false statement case, the intent is very high. You have to show willfulness. And Tom brought up a good point. If she told the banks or any officials that she was not using this as a primary residence, that is a huge red flag and loud gong in favor of the defendant. So this is a weak case at best, and it has vindictive prosecution written all over it.
So David Frum, notwithstanding anything that our former prosecutors just laid out, I think if you're looking at this tonight and you're the third name on that list from President Trump's post 20 days ago, James Comey, Letitia James, and Adam Schiff, if you're the senator from California, you know, are you preparing your own video response to a potential indictment?
He better be.
50 years ago, President Nixon had more than a little too much to drink. Called up his head of the IRS and said, "I'd like to see some files, please. This is a list of the names of people I want to see files." The head of the IRS called his boss, Secretary of the Treasury, George Shultz, and said, what do I do? The president just asked me to do this. It's completely illegal. What do I do? And George Shultz replied, the first time the president of the United States asks you to do something illegal or improper, you didn't hear it. And the second time he asks you, you quit. And so my question is, why is there anyone still working in the Department of Justice today? This is not a story about Donald Trump alone. We know what Trump is. But Trump in his first term was just as reprehensible as he is in his second term. But in his first term, there was person after person who stood up to him. In the second term, the Department of Justice is filled with people who are executing improper orders, who are indicting at the president's command. The moment that direct message appeared, making it clear that Trump was ordering these prosecutions, everyone in the Department of Justice should have said, no, you've spoiled the case. Even if we had a good case, which we don't, even if we did, this is now improper. And if you press me to do it, I quit, because I will not be an instrument of personalized presidential power pretending to be justice, which is what all of this case is about. And so all the technicalities of bank, what are the intents, those are all interesting if this were a legitimate action to begin with, but it's it's condemned, tainted, damned at the source, and that's where we need to begin our understanding.
Yeah, it obviously was clear that she was a target of Trump's, and it felt like they were looking for something, obviously searching for something instead of basing it on the crime and then going after who was involved.
In a free society, that shouldn't happen. I mean, it's not, we say it's obvious. Well, then why has someone signed it? That is someone who is in default of their responsibilities. And the people here who are in the spotlight are these creatures of the president who are carrying out his improper and illegal will.
Wow, there it is. All right, what do y'all think? CNN said it. And I agree. This is super petty. And I think I've said that. I think I've said that since the beginning. But at the end of the day, is this a legitimate indictment? We will have to wait and see. We'll have to see what the evidence shows. And that's going to be a ways away. James Comey is already out there with an indictment that's somewhat similar. And then we've got Letitia James is now facing a similar indictment. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments in the chat. Oh, man, it's tough out here, man. CNN throwing one of their own under the bus. That's crazy. I said, hey, she did it, but maybe, maybe she was confused. It's probably, again, I highly doubt anything's going to come out of this. I was wondering if she lied or not. I mean, did you falsify? Letitia, have you been doing this? I know we'll have to see. Black women have it so easy in this country, and they always have. Oh, no. I don't know about that one. They run all the Fortune 500 companies, all the banks, control all the media, and hold all the political offices. No, but oftentimes speaking out against a black female Democrat in a position of power doesn't work out so well in 2025. I will say that. All right, let's keep it moving. So we're talking about Candace Owens. Candace Owens is back at it again, updating us on the investigation when it comes to Charlie Kirk, because that being her friend, she is not satisfied with the investigation, not only from local police and law enforcement, but from the Department of Justice and the FBI as well. So we're going to get into some information Candace is going to give about the investigation, give us some updates and some interesting things she's seeing recently in her own investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination. So check this out from Candace over on X. What did she say? She said on 9/10, the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated, a contracted U.S. military owned by ClassE LLC flew around the campus at around the time Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Now, we haven't heard a lot of information on this, but Candace, I'm sure, is going to speak about it in very, very soon to come live streams, right? She also said an Egyptian Air Force jet departed Provo in the morning, completing its first ever trip to Utah. Why is that? Who were the passengers? She wants to know. And this person makes an interesting point. They say that's the wrong question. It ain't who were the passengers. It is who cleared the flight plan. The Egypt Air Force jet, SUBTT, didn't file through civilian FAA channels. It went dark on ADS-B between Provo and Wilmington. A military transponder switch-off protocol usually granted by joint authorization. Uh-oh. Secret fact buried deep. Only NORAD can greenlight a foreign state aircraft to cross U.S. airspace under radar silence. That approval doesn't come from Utah. It comes from D.C., and that's where the story really starts. I need to save this one as well. Could be something, could be nothing. I don't believe in coincidences here. Also, Candace points out, so when it comes to the man who actually, it's an interesting story about this guy. He ended up getting fired and losing his job. People found out who he was and put him on blast because he was up cheering. At first he said, oh, well, I was just cheering because I was trying to be defiant towards the person who killed Charlie Kirk.
Stop the cap.
Bro, come on, man. Nobody believes that, right? And then Candace says, so this is sort of crazy, but the man that cheered after Charlie Kirk got shot has actually never been fully identified. He is known only as David, and Candace Owens is trying to get in touch with him because someone sent me some more or other relevant footage of him. Does anyone know who she meant to put this is? If you do, you can reach out to Candace. I think it's tips@candaceowens.com or something like that. Let's actually get into the video. Candace is going to break it down for us. Here we go.
All right, a couple of updates for you. We are getting all of your emails, and I want to tell you we're working on everything, okay? It's like an investigation that never stops. It's just trains that are slowly moving as we get answers. And like I said, even that I've been sitting on for a while. I'm waiting for people to react, see what people say, because I need to know who's guilty. Of what, I don't know, but I need to watch people lie. Now, one area of conversation that I haven't said much about, but I want you to know we are still working on it, are the two planes that day, right? One of them being the plane that people have recognized is military. That's tail number N1098L. So this plane left from Texas, went over to Utah right about the time that Charlie got assassinated. It dipped real low. It seemed like, who knows what this plane was being sent there for, but the fact that this plane had been used in the military rightfully alerted people to the fact that they may have had some knowledge. This plane may have had some knowledge of what was going to occur. But one thing I want to clarify for you is that plane was being contracted. You guys noticed that it was owned by LaSalle Aviation LLC. We are awaiting more information, but I just wanted to let you know that you recognize that. It is strange. It did happen. There's no question. I've been saying from the beginning, this was a military operation. It's very obvious. The more you peel back the onion, it is very obvious that this was a military operation. So it's fitting that you would have a plane that the military certainly uses. Who would contract that sort of plane? Now, this would be a very easy question for Kash Patel to answer. Hey, Kash Patel, most transparent ever, except when it comes to Epstein. What's up with this plane? Certainly, you have knowledge of who contracted this plane. The answer, if you're being transparent, is going to be like, oh, just a coincidence. Just a coincidence. Somebody decided to take a vacation flight from Texas over Utah to do a little circle and return back home. It happens all the time. When you're bored and you just have an unbelievable amount of money, that's what you do. We're not going to get those answers from Kash Patel about that plane. We're not even getting straight answers about the other plane. That's the plane where Derek Maxfield, his wife Shalane Maxfield, they sold some beauty company for billions, I believe, and they now just run a human sex trafficking organization in Utah. That was that plane. I can't remember. 888 is what I actually remember. And it seemed as though that plane left. It went to Page, Arizona, and it appeared that the ADS-B transponder turned off. Now, what Kash Patel told us is different from what Derek Maxfield told us. Derek Maxfield on Instagram clarified that the air traffic control center was in agreement with them that they could stop transponding. Kash Patel says that plane never stopped transponding. So I don't know what the truth is, and I'm not even pretending that we're ever going to get the truth. What I can tell you is that the investigation that we have been privately conducting has led to more questions than answers. Obviously, multiple pilots, people that work at these airports, people who are invested in this story have reached out, and I'm grateful for that. Multiple people have confirmed that this plane was a little bit weird that day. It was supposed to land in Page, Arizona, in Millionaire FBO. Last second, it made a change. Just so you guys know, an FBO is just a private terminal. So if you're in a public airport, you go to Terminal 7. If you're flying private, you go to FBO, and it has a name. So that plane was supposed to land into an FBO called Millionaire. Last second, that plane decided to change and say, we are going to instead land into Signature, a different FBO. Apparently it landed into Signature. That's certainly what we were told. But there's something off about that, because when people are trying to look into it, somebody at that FBO at first said, oh yes, you've made multiple trips in the last couple of days. And then that person said, I don't know what you're talking about. No plane ever landed here. What? Multiple people have confirmed this for me.
How is that possible?
That there's something very unusual about this flight. They are guarding information about this flight. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't like that we've got feds guarding like FBO information. We've got feds guarding Dairy Queens. I don't know. Do you need your ice cream guarded? What is going on? Like, guys, you got to just give up. It's going to come out. Whatever it is going to come out. You would have to, and I wouldn't put it past you, you'd have to get rid of all of us. You got like 7 billion people you've got to ethnically cleanse right now if you want us to just forget about the Charlie Kirk story. It's no...
Well, not necessarily. Because not everyone is a Candace Owens. Some people just like their life and want to be left alone. So you have here, I'm sharing this information. I'm letting people know something happens to Candace, something happens to me. People might be kind of like, I don't know if it's worth it to consume this type of content anymore. I just try to live my life. So again, not all the time do you have to put fear into everyone. So to get someone from speaking, sometimes you just got to make an example of someone else.
No one's forgetting it, okay? Not the ballistics guys on YouTube that we're all listening to. And no one's gonna let this one go because, and by the way, that's your fault. I don't know whose sadistic idea it was to make this a public execution, but let me tell you where you made the mistake, okay? In 1963, when JFK was shot, people didn't watch it on TikTok. People mostly read about it, and then the feds lied about it, and they heard about it. But to be able to have us watch that live around the world, you traumatized all of us. And not in the way that you meant to. You meant to traumatize us and maybe then make us fearful and scared. And yeah, that happened. Then you made us really angry that corruption is allowed to be like this, just so blatant and so in our face, looking at us as if we're nothing. And what are you going to do about it? That's the attitude. What are you going to do about it? You wanted to traumatize us and then to, on a dime, flip and look us in the face and go, how dare you ask questions? People are grieving. Yeah, we're grieving because you assassinated Charlie Kirk in front of the entire world. If you had pretended he slipped and fell on some ice in the winter, maybe you wouldn't have this response. But you got our attention because you went after our attention. You wanted this for whatever sadistic reason. You wanted this to be a public execution, and that disturbs me. So you get what you get, okay? This is the internet generation. You get TikTokers that are asking questions. You get our military guys. You get our ballistic boys. You get the TikTok medium psychic ladies. You get everybody. All of us are here, okay? It's like a high school class. You got all different types of characters here, but we're running this, okay? Right. We're running this. And we're not going to be nice to any substitute teachers that you try to throw in there and try to calm down. Nope, we're not doing that, okay? We're not calming down. We're pretty upset, and we're going to stay upset. Anyways, I'm going to tell you guys also in an update about Josh Hammer. He's an idiot. He really is an idiot. First and foremost, just funny. I should have pulled it up. He also brought up his book. He issued a statement about the retreat weekend. Josh Hammer just lies through his teeth all the time. And so he was releasing a statement about how wonderful the Hamptons retreat was and that him and Seth Dillon totally did not press Charlie on anything. And in this public statement, he mentioned his book again. He said, like, I came to the Hamptons because Charlie wanted me to bring signed copies of my book. I mean, wacky. I mean, this man, it's always appropriate if you're Josh Hammer to promote your book, which is just amazing. Anyways, his response yesterday to our episode was to release text messages between him and Charlie following the call. Great. It lets us know that the call happened at the exact same time that we figured it would actually happen in our timeline, that it had to have been an evening call before he tweeted public execution in this 3-hour window. But these are the messages. We should read them. Charlie Kirk, thank you for your help, guys. A totally standard response that you say no matter what. Exclamation point. And then I assume this is Josh Hammer that replies and says, good luck at the campus visit start. Don't hesitate to let me know or any of us know how we can help. What's your first stop tomorrow, by the way? And I felt like that was weird because I feel like his whole story was that Charlie was reaching out to him because he wanted help to strengthen his debate. He needed tips on how to, because he just loved Israel so hard that he was like, give me the best talking points so I can go out there and I can defend this state. And I know that like a couple hours ago, I was really angry and I said, I'm done with the pro-Israel lobby, but now I just love you so much that I want to get on the phone with you and have you, who could not beat me in a debate, teach me how to debate.
Now, again, this is an interesting point Candace makes because it's clear that Charlie Kirk was having some trust issues. There was people he trusted, people he didn't trust, and was one of the main reasons why he was implementing a Doge type of sector of Turning Point USA, because he wanted to find out where money was going, who was getting money, who was spending money. And it sounds like Charlie was just at a place to where he knew some things were going on and something wasn't right. And it makes you wonder, was he withholding information from certain people who were even in his smaller circle? Josh Hammer seems like he might not be as close to Charlie Kirk as he thinks.
That's what he told us. So we're supposed to believe that he didn't know where Charlie was debating, but that's how that was what the call was about. I don't know. I feel like you would maybe know, and that may have come up in a call where you were prepping for his debate tomorrow.
It's not evidence, but
where
it's
exactly it was that he was debating tomorrow. I don't know anything other than that Josh Hammer is an idiot who can't be trusted and lies through his teeth. I do want to get to speaking on the topic of Israel.
All right, so we're going to leave it there. Y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments in the chat. Is Candace on to something? When it comes to this plane, I know we're going to hear more information about it. Candace, she usually likes to tease things a little bit more when it comes to letting information out. So I'm sure she has a lot that's going to be shown over the next coming days. And, you know, we'll be here to report on it and to give you guys that update as soon as possible. Let me know what you think about this situation. Was there something going on with Josh Hammer? Why is Josh Hammer lying? And Candace is continuing to put the heat on these guys and making them respond. I want to know what y'all think. Shout out to the gang, man. Appreciate everybody who is in here. We got 16,000 of y'all in the building now, and over 20,000 of you liked the video. So thank y'all so much. Let me read a couple more super chats, and then I'm gonna set y'all free. We've got Bombay in here, just became a new member. Welcome to the gold side, Bombay. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Make sure you check out the members only content. And of course, you get your name highlighted in the beautiful green, and you get an opportunity to check out all the videos we post here instantly. We got Kitty Cat in the building as well with the 2 bomb. Says protect Candace at all costs. Not my favorite person, but love for her. Yeah, shout out to Candace. I don't agree with her on everything, as we do with a lot of people. But when someone's bringing the facts, when someone's breaking it down like Candace is, and she's holding the appropriate people's feet to the fire, we got to support the truth here. So we'll continue to do that as well. Shout out to Candace. And I'm going to continue to direct you guys over there so you can go and support her directly, because she's got a great work that she's doing here. And I think we really need to continue to shine light on this situation until the truth comes out. All right. I will see some of y'all tonight on the Song of the Night Live. Y'all know we're going to be live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By the way, Donna Adelson is getting sentenced today. So y'all know we are going to react to that tomorrow. Make sure you tune in for that. We'll be here talking about it tomorrow as well. Look forward to seeing y'all then. Hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. And as always, you know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Thank y'all for the love, man.